Here we are again, finals footy. It's like a whole new competition. Win 3 games in a row, you win the whole thing. The Brumbies know success, and that heritage means something.
In 2001 and 2004, the ACT Brumbies are the champs.
It's always been about hard work. Not the flashiest, not always the most talented, but hard work brings rewards. And mateship, in that 80th minute, you look across at the bloke next to you. You can't let him down, because you know he won't let you down. And that culture means we play finals footy more often than not.
Lovasiu gives it away to Tom Banks.
Dan drives that. You want to shirk it? He won't last long here in Canberra. We're going to miss him. Scotty as well. Been here 11 years. The big dog. The place won't be the same without him. We want to. We need to win for those blokes. We know it's coming. TJ, Artie, Geordie Barrett. When these blokes play well, the Hurricanes play well.
Incredible stuff!
We have to nullify their big moments. And we've got a few strategies for that. These big games, no one knows when or if you'll ever play a final again, where you've got to treat this as your one shot. Nights like this, you dream of these moments. The kid in the backyard, the try to win the game, the goal after the siren. Tonight, we live that dream, and the dream continues.
Yes, a semi-final date with the Blues is on offer tonight in Canberra, with the Brumbies hosting the Hurricanes in our last Super Rugby Pacific quarter-final of the weekend. Great to have you with us on Channel 9 and Stan Sport, with the action coming to you tonight from the traditional lands of the Ngunnawal people and whose elders past, present and emerging we pay our respects to. I'm Sean Maloney, and with me for this playoff match are a couple of ex-internationals, Morgan Tunui and Andrew Mertens. Mertz, this Hurricanes team comes to town looking to deliver a big upset.
Yes, absolutely. Good evening, everyone. And the Hurricanes rested a few key players last week, but they've all come storming back into the starting lineup. One of those is number 6, Blake Gibson. Another one is Walker Leawere in 5, who will be crucial for the go forward, as will Artie Savia, Captain Fantastic. Speaking of the Savias, Julian Savia, the vastly experienced winger, back on the right, and number 14, Geordie Barrett at 12, combining with Proctor. That allows Morby to stay at 15, but a big night for TJ Perenara, number 9, first Hurricane to reach 150 games.
It's a huge milestone indeed, and there is so much mobility on the bench for Jason Holland to call on. Safo Almua and Braden Yossa in particular can really motor and will make a big impact late. So that's how the Hurricanes look. On the other side of the Ledger Morgs are the Brumbies, who were shock losers last week against Moana Pacifica. A chance tonight to re-establish their finals credentials.
There are some changes in the team that required to do that. At front row, Slipper and Fainga are come back in alongside Alan Alatoa as captain. Swain and Neville at lock. Hooper, Reimer is preferred at 7, and Pete Samu, who will be so important at number 8. White and Lolosio, that combination together. Muirhead and right on the wings. Simone and Ikatau in the midfield, and Tom Banks, which allows the back three to be potent and settled for the Brumbies at fullback.
Scott Seo looking to spend a little more time in the Brumbies jersey, set it apart, the club at the end of the year, hoping for a win tonight, making his presence felt from the Pine. Rory Scott and Nick Frost have been terrific from the bench this year as well for Dan McKellar. So that's the tail of the tape, that's how they look. Conditions, well, ice cold is the best way to describe it in Canberra. Morgs, we had that downfall about 5 o'clock this afternoon, and then a fresh dumping about 15 minutes ago.
Well, the interesting thing, the Canberra locals say that a bit of rain actually makes it warmer. It's not as cold as it should have been, so that's the local knowledge. And here is TJ Perenara, 150 matches, as you mentioned, for the Hurricanes, Mertz.
And the third halfback in Super Rugby history to do so after Andy Ellis. of the Crusaders and Aaron Smith from the Highlanders. A huge moment. He's one of the spiritual leaders of this team, but not just one of the spiritual leaders, one of the scoring leaders as well. So high up the try-scoring table, TJ Perenara. Inevitably, he's in the top try scorers for each season, and one of the 4 survivors of the 2016 championship-winning Hurricanes side.
Made his debut against the Western Force way back in 2012 it was. He has been a superstar across Super Rugby since. An absolute marvel is TJ Perenara, so he will do his best from scrum half tonight. He's got a terrific full pack to do his work in behind as well. And the Brumbies led out by Alan Alatoa. They've been the benchmark on the Aussie front in Super Rugby Pacific in 2022. And one guy who continues to drive them every step of the way, Nick White.
The tale of 2 nines as we look at the beginning of this match, and Stan Sport pre-show involved Michael Checker, former Wallabies coach, identifying that Nick White is the leader, the game leader of the Brumbies. So influential in the way they exit their own zone, the way they score points, the way they get their team into the game. He must have another great game in Brumbies colours to see his team advance.
All Blacks on the left, Wallabies on the right, doing their thing with the Brumbies and Hurricanes respectively. The last time they met at this venue, it was the Brumbies who were too good. It was a warm, sunny Sunday afternoon. Tonight they're doing it in frigid conditions. Paul Williams in charge. Win and advance to take on the Blues. Go down and get set for the off-season. Moving in Canberra via the boot of Nick White, who sends it long down towards Barrett. Easy take for Barrett. The 12 jersey tonight. Perenara coming across for Walker Liawere.
Hold it, no.
Freeing up the angle for the exit here. Coming from the boot of Salesi Rayasi. He makes good contact as well and sends it long up towards halfway.
Classic start from the Brumbies. Very happy to receive that ball over the touchline and launch their attack from the line out. One of their potent attacking weapons.
And Gutta, good first up throw for Darcy Swain, pulls it in, they keep it tight. And Gutta setting up on the tail here and creeping forward. Back now for Nick White, who'll lean on that box kick. Flattens it out and it will go out on the fly, and we'll have a line out back on halfway. This time round, the Hurricanes to throw.
Fairly uncharacteristic mistake from Nick White. Very clean on the kick, one of the strengths of his game, of course, and he'll be disappointed with himself there. A bonus for the Hurricanes.
Coles with his first throw of the evening. It's a good one. There's to Gibson, and some room for Perenara to work through the line out as well. Gibson's there for the return pass. Coles sending it away. Perenara swinging back short side. Tough one there for Morgan to bring in. Does a great job with fingertip control. Crowd thought it might have bobbled forward. Severe. Perenara again back to the left they head through Walker Liawere. Such a good ball runner and takes a few metres post contact. Now the penalty. Perenara coming back for Blackwell. Morgan probing, switching late, turning it back for Proctor. No advantage taken, and we'll have the penalty right on halfway. And sideline tonight, we have Drew Mitchell. We've touched on the conditions from the warmth of the commentary box. Drew, how cold, how icy is it?
Oh, it is bitterly cold here in Canberra, I can tell you that. Look, it's a bit of a cautious start from both teams, obviously because of the magnitude of this game, but I think also because of the conditions. It's got a bit of a slight film on the ball. We'll see teams probably just bringing the ball into their chest a little bit more, going into contact, at least until they get a handle on it. And like I said, not too much of a breeze to speak of, but it is bitterly cold. So if I was out there, just get a mountain of work and get warm.
Some images early of TJ Perenara you saw there. He got up very gingerly from his first contact. Don't think it looked deliberate, and I think they're making amends there or just checking in, but he did look very, very uncomfortable. He's a tough character, but it's not the ideal way to start your 150th malt.
Now, it's funny, those milestone matches sometimes don't go the way they're planned. Hopefully he's okay to continue. And already we've seen a great snapshot of what the Hurricanes are all about. They are the attacking kings. They're the possession team of the whole Super Rugby Pacific, and they like to run their ball. They like to keep the ball in hand, especially in the middle of the park. And it's a real clash of styles where the Brumbies can be quite pragmatic in the way that they kick the ball and make sure they put pressure on other teams down the right end of the field.
Geordie Barrett with his first attempt.
No.
Of the night. 15 in. Barrett looking to draw it back. It's a beautiful strike, and the penalty is on the board.
Fantastic kick as we look at TJ Perenara's first foray. A little twist of the knee, but a great kick from Geordie Barrett. Normally hits it pretty straight, so he's obviously judged that well with some breeze up high.
This one heads back to Barrett. Barrett going low with the exiting kick, and it's a good strike.
And that's the balance the Hurricanes need to find as well, Mertz, isn't it? They need to make sure they get out of their zone efficiently, while they also still love to carry the ball and run with it and excite us.
Van Gutter goes to the middle, pressure there on Neville. Got a penalty advantage here for the Brumbies now. Lolosio ripping it wide, finding Muirhead, who takes it on the bounce. Muirhead drop inside the Canes half to get scrappy now, breaks down and will head back for the penalty.
5 gold. 5 gold on the arm and the air.
This is how the Brumbies would have wanted to start the match, and this is a key too for the Hurricanes. Putting pressure on at line-out time, denying the Brumbies, as you mentioned, Mertz, their favourite part of the game. They're ranked 1 in the competition for tries from line-outs. 37 tries they've scored throughout the season. Important the Hurricanes put pressure on them, and they get another chance here in even better field position.
And statistically, it is a vulnerability for the Hurricanes, so competing at the right times will be important. Walker Leawere there on that occasion, just guilty of that second arm coming up and contacting the Brumbies.
So Banks sends it to touch, and we've got the Brumbies on that just inside the Hurricanes 22. And Gutter again to Neville. Right, lets his forward pack go to work, and they edge ahead here. The counter work as well from the Hurricanes. Van Gutter peels off the back. White for Ikitau. Ikitau ducking under a couple. Karifi good on the ball, but does so illegally. It's a penalty to the Brumbies.
Not supporting body weight.
Saw the opportunity, so quick onto every sniff of a ball steal there. Duplessis Karifi.
Shot ball.
Fairly good boot from Dane Cole straight afterwards as well. Shame that didn't play out, obviously, for the Hurricanes.
No.
He'll be disappointed with that missed opportunity, Duplessis Karifi there. He had space. You don't often, as a 7, get space, and referee ruling that he used the tackle player as a bit of an anchor to balance himself, not supporting his own body weight. And I think everyone can be happy if that's consistently applied throughout the game. Dan McKellar, he'll be happy. It's an important period right now for the Brumbies to be able to respond to that Geordie Barrett 3-pointer to start the game.
Gee, I'll be happy if they keep penalising that. Too many players attaching themselves like a barnacle to tackle players rather than going for the ball.
Lolosio, no issues with a match levelling 3 of his own, and we're all locked up.
Of course, on that occasion, Karifi did actually get the ball. It was a good flip back, but
Ball, Mike.
Paul Williams setting the standards very early, and as you say, Morgs, consistency will be important, and that both teams know what the limits are and respect it, and it'll make for a good game.
Morgan happy to go with territory, sending this one long down to Nick White, who takes it easily and just loads up and sends that one to touch.
Step. Gap's good.
Coles, great throw there for Blackwell. Ray Arcee in off his wing, hungry for work. Good defence front there from Hooper. Takes a lot of shifting indeed as Tom Hooper. Blackwell again. As the Hurricanes get into their play, it's gone backwards. Perinari intercepted by Swain. White looking left, then they're isolated, the Brumbies, and it goes straight back to the Canes.
It may well be that Paul Williams had to think back and wondered how TJ Perinari's pass had been disrupted. Good skills from the Brumbies pouring through. Just couldn't hold it for that next ruck.
There's just been a couple of times there where your players are getting tackled and actually forcing the ball back into the tackler. Okay. So it's almost like they're trying to milk the penalty. Okay. So there's space there for them to place it. Yep. Just have trust in me that I'll deal with that tackler, okay? All good? Yeah.
He's gone a little bit the other way there, Paul Williams, with Karifi with hands on the ground. He's rewarding a guy putting pressure at the breakdown, and looks to be a tactic immediately from the Hurricanes, from their head coach Jason Holm, to have real pressure on the Brumbies attacking breakdown. It's something I've noticed, Mertz, from all the Kiwi teams this weekend.
Couldn't have hit his first shot at the uprights any better, Geordie Barrett. This time around, taking it to the right-hand side of the poles. In comes Geordie Barrett, and he puts his side back in front.
Oof. That ball stays hit when Geordie Barrett gets onto it. And you're right, Morgan, I think the New Zealand teams have adjusted over the 5 weeks. They've had to, just to a slightly different structure of game, and now maybe handling the Australian teams a little bit better than maybe they did in the first couple of weeks.
White floating it down towards Rayasi in traffic. Eventually caught on that far side by Wright. Walker-Leawere banging it up to enable Perinari to chase Barrett.
Hold in front.
Barrett pressured there by Nick White. So here it is for the Brumbies. Banks has to get down low in the slippery conditions. Banks towards Sevilla. No moving the Hurricane skipper. Alatoa, Simone across the line, looking to free it up for Fanga'a. Good pressure from the Hurricanes at the breakdown. Almost winning the ball back. Here it is with Neville. Fanga'a. Ducks into a couple, and White now comes back for Neville. Neville on the transfer for Lolosio. They rush up out wide to the Hurricanes, and they limit that threat. Samu. He can't get past. Walker-Leawere throws him down. Now White goes to the boot. In behind here and finding the turf inside the 22. Lolosio with a tackle and looking for the steal now, the Brumbies. They flood the breakdown. It's back though for Rayasi. Rayasi looking for the safety of touch, and he'll find it 30 from his try line.
See, what an absolute luxury to have a guy as big and strong with the ball in hand as Rayasi, as we see Banks running the ball back in. The Hurricanes defence resolute. Rayasi, that huge boot he's got, Morgs.
It's just such a pressure-relieving option, isn't it, having a left footer and one that can double as such an attacking player. But Brumbies, nice change up there to kick him behind.
Vanguard, this time round goes to Swain. Down for Lolosio, flat is Hooper. Lolosio, this time round it's the fly half doing the kicking. Rubbering it in behind, it's going to sit up here. Turned by the Hurricanes as the Brumbies look for the turnover, they get it. They've done so illegally though.
Now, they might be complaining and the crowd's getting stuck in too, but the way that ruck first got set, there's no way the Brumbies could come out with that ball legally. They've set that ruck there, all hands off.
When you have that one crack, you've either got reward or you've got to leave it alone. Just continuing that when you get cleaned out just brings the referee into it, makes the referee make a decision. Some of them you'll get, you won't get all of them.
Well, he's got to keep pushing it, Luke Reimer. And incredible skill just to get the ball.
Please, guys. Come down.
While he's under so much physical pressure.
He's done that so well for the Brumbies this year.
Coles to the front. Here with Karifi over to Perinaro. Barrett in the midfield, switching up the angle of play for Proctor. Met by Hooper in a good tackle. Midfield, Barrett. Barrett trying to blast his way through. Perinaro going quick to Sevilla. Walker Leawere. Caught down by a slipper. Back short side. This is Rayasi. Perinaro coming for Blackwell. Just changing the angle of the run to get some much needed meters as Perinaro holds it up. Afaleo. Walker Leawere again jammed hard that time around by Hooper. And now the Brumbies flood the breakdown. They can't shift at that extra body and it's still with the visitors. Sevilla. Up to 9 phases now. Gibson. Strong meters in close. Here comes some more from Sevilla. Alatoa latches onto him. Rayasi looked to have bobbled that one forward. It's play on though. Walker Leawere. Nick White over the top looking for the turnover. Back it comes. Discipline really hurting the Brumbies the last time they had a home game. Morby almost through.
He's on his feet.
Being asked plenty of questions here, this Brumbies defence. On come the Hurricanes. Blackwell. Perinaro quick to it for Sevilla. Again, Alatoa's there to meet his opposing skipper. Big shot there from Al. Karifi. 16 phases now.
Ball's there. The man's lying on top. No.
Sevilla. Julian. Sevilla for Gibson.
Tackle roll down.
Now the penalty advantage. Not rolling will be the call here against the Brumbies. Barrett coming crossfield, looking for Morby. It's pinpoint, and he's in!
Well, what a Super Rugby career this is turning into for Josh Morby. He has burst onto the scene, scoring tries aplenty, and the finishing here. And he had a hand in this move much earlier on. He got some really good go forward for the Hurricanes. Then it looked like it was stagnating a little bit. A beautiful kick from Geordie Barrett and well finished out in the corner, Morgs.
Yeah, capitalising on the freedom that a penalty advantage provides, and greatly identified by Geordie Barrett. Morby gets his 8th try of the season, but Geordie Barrett summed up the fact that Andy Muirhead and Tom Banks had just had a little miss in communication. Banks wasn't there to cover it, and Muirhead was way in field, and they looked at each other in vain. Too little, too late, Hurricanes.
They might be thankful they got through a few phases, because there were multiple suggestions of knock-ons, or knocks on, in some of the earlier breakdown play from the Hurricanes, but no matter, a superb piece of skill at the end.
The ball carrier has been tackled, is actually placing it by forcing it back into the tackler.
Geordie Barrett looking to extend here from wide out. Just drags that one away to the left, and it stays 11-3.
And that's a real snapshot of what this game's going to be. The Hurricanes love possession. They love to have lots and lots of phases in the 22 to find a chink in the armour. And the Brumbies have defended exceptionally well there, but must add discipline. You mentioned it, Sean. It was a failing a couple of weeks ago. It needs to get better to keep them in this game.
Nick White, again, working that right-hand side. And again, Rayasi's up to it. He gets out of one tackle. Rayasi put high there, was he? Here with Walker Leawere. Looking good, getting through their phases tonight, the Hurricanes.
Foot out. Hold out.
Perenara hops into this one, down to Banks. Asking for some support here, Banks. Slipper gets there in the nick of time. Alatoa, he's a touch isolated too now. Slipper's there again. White goes to the box kick. Down to Morgan. Infield for Morby.
Holding in front, 4-5.
Morby making good contact. Down to Banks. Banks for Lolosio.
Holding! Move out!
This will be tough to bring in the Canberra night. Morgan's up to it, but then gets met by Banks. Brumbies get their line set. Walker Leawere.
Hold in front, go!
Barrett.
Hold now, hold now!
Sends a wobbler down to Lolosio. Now Lolosio going skyward again. It's right, trying to get through. Taken beautifully by Celesi Rayasi. Morgan. Deep for Proctor.
Tackle! Roll! Excellent forward, well done.
All the play for the moment with the visitors as they go across the park and find a touch of room again through Morby. Perenara back for Coles. Here goes the All Blacks hooker. That's a great run. Up over halfway he heads. Perenara going short side. No look away for Celesi Rayasi. Everyone just sort of stops for a moment as Celeste takes it upfield. Barrett popping quickly for Walker Leawere. Already closing in on double-digit carries. We've only had 20 played.
He's missed the ball.
Mafaleon.
Both sides.
Perenara over to Artie Sevilla. Morby slings it off the hip for Rayasi, who has been a handful already. Coles crashes into Fanga'a. Morgan out the back he goes for Proctor. Muirhead rushed up, sent him back in field, and he takes meters on the other side. Reimer over the top, looking for the turnover. Another penalty advantage here for the Hurricanes. As Sevilla
Got the advantage.
takes meters in tight. Now they string the passes together. Morgan at pace gets cleaned up by Nick White. Still with the Hurricanes and still with the advantage. Julian Sevilla. Barrett again. Looking crossfield, then laying it off. Going short. Still on here out wide though for the Hurricanes. Proctor can't hang on. Karifi can. The crowd thought it might have gone forward. It's still with Artie Sevilla. We're throwing a huge dummy. 16 phases. Perenara. Barrett, Shorty Barrett. Drops 6 away. Jane Cole's almost coming through. Now Hooper's there, but we've got another penalty advantage for the Hurricanes. And they'll take it.
Yeah, sure.
Penalties marked and awarded just to the right of the upright.
We're just going to go time off. We're just going to go time off for a check.
It's available as Paul Williams comes upstairs.
Richard, just in reference to your check there, mate.
Yeah, Paul, we've got potential foul play from 13 white on 10 gold.
Yeah, sure. Chuck it up on the screen.
Here they come.
Just come back here.
Going to look at the height, obviously, here of Leonikitau as Nick White clobbers Aidan Morgan. The question will be whether Morgan drops his head enough to mitigate. He wasn't driven into the collision by Nick White. It seemed pretty innocuous at the time. When you slow things down, everything can look pretty malicious, can't it?
This is our best angle, boys.
Yeah, it's not going to look good for Leonikitau, unfortunately. Look like the... So, yes, we do have foul play, because he could have done better to get into lower position. Richard, we just need to determine where the head contact is, please.
Here's an angle here.
Okay.
Yeah, so Leonikitau's hit his own head on Morgan's shoulder, but there's been contact as well.
Got head contact.
Okay,
the
so
way
we
they're
definitely have shoulder-head contact,
adjudicating this is minimum yellow.
Is it more secondary though than direct?
This will take it to yellow rather than red. I think the
Richard,
fact
can we just confirm if it's direct shoulder to head?
secondary.
I'll just try and get your end on angle to show us that best.
I think that one there, boys.
There's our best angle.
I'm not seeing that flash.
Yeah, they'll mitigate this down to a yellow and they'll try and...
straight to the head chin of the ball carrier. You seeing the same thing? Like, that's a lot of force in there. Okay, Alan, hey, Richard, I just want you to play that in full speed, please, so we can determine the level of force.
Well, this is a good call. Do it at full speed. I think at the moment it's orange. This could go either way.
Yeah, one more time, please, mate.
So Paul Williams is talking himself into a red here. There's been some talk about some other indirect contact previously, yet look, it's bad body position from Leonikitau.
We've got a ball carrier who's upright, we've got a tackler who's upright, we've got shoulder to neck and head with a high degree of force.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so we're looking at a red card at this stage. Any disagreement on that? Yeah, okay. Alan. Ready? 13. Yeah, and 13, please, mate.
Yes, 13.
Yeah. Yeah, so unfortunately what we've got, the ball carrier is carrying into contact, the defender is always high, there's direct contact with the chin of the ball carrier, it's a high degree of force, so unfortunately it's going to be a red card.
Is there any mitigating factors coming down?
Unfortunately it's not, mate.
Well, Leonikitau's night is done.
So, Artie, you've got the option of the penalty over there, or the penalty over there.
Penalty here, please.
Sure.
And they'll be down at 14 men for the next 20 minutes, will the Brumbies.
Yeah, so the fact that they sort of disregarded the far side camera angle and looked at this side shows more direct. That's the one. That's the one that convinces the red card. Look, we want this game to be safer for players. We want tackle heights lower, and we don't want to see contact of head or shoulder into an opposition player's head. And we've seen those be yellow and we've seen them be red. And once Leonikitau had himself high, he leaves himself at the vulnerability of the way the game is.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Leonikitau because he's far from a dirty player, but he's got it wrong on that occasion. He had plenty of time to know that it's Aidan Morgan running at him, not Walker Leawere, and so he had to bring his height down, otherwise he leaves himself vulnerable to this sort of a call.
Geordie Barrett with the chip shot, and he nails another 3 points to the board. Drew Mitchell.
Yeah, they certainly have. Just a little thing I've observed down here on the sideline, just the intent from the Hurricanes to keep the ball in hand. We talk about the discipline of the Brumbies. A lot of that is off the back of the pressure the Hurricanes attack is putting them under. They're under so much pressure retreating, they're having to infringe to try and slow them down. Whereas you look at the Brumbies, each time they've got around the halfway, even the 40-metre line, they're looking for space in behind, almost refusing to play with ball in hand. Just the two differing mindsets and ways of attacking. And at the moment, the Hurricanes' way is coming out on top.
Words there from Wallabies legend, Drew Mitchell. Then comes the kick for Banks, and Banks sends it up for Seesaw. They've been alternating who's doing the kicking. That one's lost, and it sits down here for Samu and the Brumbies. Samu here for White. Swain put down by Franks. Trying to bring the local crowd into it here. The Brumbies as Neville gets dropped. White coming short off the hip there for Slipper. White again. Seesaw, no look for Tomrod, who just gets creased.
Not rolling.
Seesaw doesn't look great either. Alatoa.
And advantage.
Penalty advantage here for the home team. Banks coming in on the angle. Takes the switch from White. Touch high in contact there, so we'll head on over to the penalty spot.
Alan, 2 options. Penalty over there for not rolling, or this one here. Over here.
Here's the hit. There might be something to say about that with Franks.
It's going to be 14 on 14.
Yeah, sure.
It's quite simply going to be 14 on 14. That's about as clear as you get those. Yeah.
Head on head.
Yeah.
Do you want to sign her off and come to me?
Oh yeah, I've already come to you, mate. Check.
Yeah, we're just looking at that tackle from 3 goal.
Boys, just come over, give ourselves a bit of space.
He's always been a very upright tackler, Franks.
Actually, this screen's probably
Chest
better.
sort of a tackler, very effective too when he gets it right, but he's pretty high here. And I think there'll be significant pressure on for it to be a red. I think a lot of referees would give this as a yellow, and it's winded and it's really kept Lolosio down as well.
It's foul play also because it's after. It's a little bit late.
So the defender's upright, so that's illegal. And then Richard, we just need to determine the head contact, mate. Or where the point of contact is, sorry.
Yeah, the first point of contact's on the shoulder.
They might go shoulder to shoulder before head on head.
And then the players collide heads.
Okay. So we're saying indirect contact to the head?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, the defender's upright, so he's illegal. We have contact with shoulder on shoulder first, is that right, Richard?
Correct.
And then we have head contact after that?
Yes.
Okay, right, so it's indirect, therefore I'm at a yellow. Anything else on that? Richard, are those facts accurate, mate?
That's correct.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Well, I'm wrong again.
Oh, I thought you were right. I thought you said shoulder on shoulder.
No, I thought they might go red straight away there. Just how upright it was and looked like head on head, but
yeah, initially it was. So what we've got is the defender's always upright, so he's illegal from the outset. Alan, I'll just talk to these guys and I'll come to you, okay? You don't have to be here. So he's illegal from the outset. We've got shoulder on shoulder contact first, and then we've got head contact after that, okay? So it's indirect contact, so therefore it's a lower level of danger. It's going to be a yellow card, all right? Yep.
Yeah, I think Franks takes that trade.
yeah, he'll take it and run with it. He'll run with that 10 minutes now.
I wondered if that mitigation might have been negated. Tackle, Lolosio's given the ball.
Yeah, well, once it's already foul play, it's foul play. I suppose the big one for me is if you go the other end with Len Ikitau, if you look at it from the far camera angle, Ikitau's head hits the opposition player's shoulder first, and then there's direct contact later, which becomes indirect. And look, if it means that all players in the game lower their tackle height, then we'll live with this. And once again, for mine, it is a great example of why the 20-minute red card can save the spectacle of a match, because this game would be over if it was a normal red card.
So it's 14 on 14 as the Brumbies go to the front of the line out. Brumbies without Len Ikitau. The Hurricanes missing a tight head prop. Vangata on the back, and now he gets an assist from his backs. On they come, Vangata over the line, spinning, and has he got it down? Yes!
Well, what was already a great result for the Brumbies, soaking up time, staying down the Hurricanes' end, has turned into an absolute blinder with a 5-pointer, and they worked so hard to get this ball firstly to the line, then over it, and then down onto the grass. Despite the efforts of Blake Gibson, the Brumbies score and hit back.
So 14-8 the score now. We've got the kick to come thanks to Fanga'a's work in tight. He's almost unstoppable in that little pocket, Morgs.
He's unstoppable. The Brumbies are unstoppable. The backs come in, they can smell opportunity, and it's just got to ground. Paul Williams scoots around, he's on the deck, and he finds ball on ground, and there's an important statement from the Brumbies. There's adversity, but they're in this match, and it's the perfect way we've always seen the Brumbies do it. Territory and great execution of that fine rolling maul of theirs.
The absence of Franks, that's a big body to be missing when you're trying to defend a line-out maul. They haven't had a scrum, obviously, to be able to bring on another front rower.
As the rain starts to hammer down at Joyo Stadium, it's Nick White on approach, and Nick White winning that one to straighten up, but it catches the left hand upright, and it leaves us with that 14-8 scoreline.
They wheeled it around, and the great thing here is keeping the control as it threatened to disintegrate.
Down to Hooper. Good with a take and a return now. Touch high as he gets his knees to ground, and the Hurricanes are called out of the tackle. White under pressure here.
He's gone straight through. Ball's there, holding now.
So Seesaw off with the HIA. White plugging in behind. Now it goes to Ray Arthur, looks to get the outside of Tom Wright. Tom Wright does just enough to slow him up just inside their half. The Brumbies looking for the counter ruck here. It's Nick White who pounces on it, then toes it ahead. The chase is on, led by Nick White. Nick White herring down and forcing a rush kick to touch. And it's a big game for the Brumbies.
Yeah, and a big moment as well, because it signals to the Hurricanes that they cannot relax at the breakdown, which means they won't get away with just putting a couple of players in and expecting quick ball. They're going to have to commit more to the breakdown because the Brumbies will put pressure on there. And this is great from the Brumbies with that 20-minute red card. I know it's 14 on 14, but they'll be looking to manage through that extra 10 minutes.
Swain. Down for Fanga'a. He can't get enough of this at the back of the Brumbies rolling maul. Fanga'a taking his time.
Down by White.
A stay form, but now the call is taken down by White, so now Fanga'a needs to get away from Sevilla and does so. Nick White in there trying to shift the Hurricanes captain back from Hooper. Good transfer from Hooper.
We've got the advantage, guys.
And we're coming back.
No, you just change your bind to change the position in the maul.
There's the explanation from Paul Williams.
Position in the maul. Entry 8.
Yeah, it's Blake Gibson. Blake Gibson was in a good position. He just changes and tries to swim up the side of the maul. They fight well early, the Hurricanes. They do well. They're set in a good position, but the Brumbies are patient. Their setup is perfect. And you'll see the number 6 become visible as Gibson tries to swim around the side, and he knows he has to make some sort of result. Look how patient the Brumbies are. They know what they need to do. And no prizes for guessing what they'll do once Swain's back on his feet. It chews time, as you said, Mertz, but it also is a great try-scoring opportunity. And wall-to-wall rugby continues, doesn't it, on Stan Sport for our subscribers. The Pacific 4 series. Australian Wallaroos playing New Zealand first up, and what a great tournament that will be in and of itself, and wonderful preparation for the Women's World Cup later this year.
Yeah, the two big derbies on Monday, Australia, New Zealand, and the United States, Canada. Great way to kick it off. Big week of rugby there on the Gold Coast.
So their backline's undergone a forced restructure here, the Brumbies. Ollie Satsford on for Noel Olesio. You wouldn't think they'd be coming wide here as they lock it down again and start creeping forward. Fanga'a. Satsford there. White spins it short side. Tom Wright. 1 metre short here, the Brumbies. Looking for back-to-back scores. Reimer, he's held up. They're trying to feed it back through that pile of legs. Tight again. Rolling sleeves and having a dig in close here, the Brumbies.
Oh, there goes!
The Canes desperate to send them back as Slipper tries to burrow his way through, playing gutter. White, Simone. How do you like that from the Brumbies inside centre?
Well, they flew up on Ire Simone. They said, are you up to the task? And he was. Finally, the backs get to play with the ball. One player short, but away goes Ire Simone. The feet, that's where the danger is. When you fly up on defence, you can lose control. If the ball carrier has the presence of mind and the balance and the feet to get through, and he's made them pay.
A big-time strike from Ire Simone. He's pulled it back to a one-point game, and it's now Nick White with the opportunity to put his side in front for the first time tonight.
Well, the backs finally got a chance, and he one-on-one with Geordie Barrett. That's an important beat, one-on-one against their opposite number. Great footwork at the line in greasy conditions, and strong enough to get over for his team.
White throws it over, and it's 15-14. Gee, that red card for Lenny Kitau has just sparked the Brumbies. They were so lackluster early. It was the Hurricanes with all the running. Kitau gone, and then Frank's gone for the Canes, and they found themselves in front.
Yeah, scored 12 points. Good result for the Brumbies.
Here's White. Nick White lowering the trajectory on that exit kick, and it's a nice strike to touch as well.
And importantly, it's lifted their energy levels too, after being a little bit on the back foot, certainly on the scoreboard. In the early stages, the Brumbies.
Pulled down by Blackwell. Ray Arcee doing the grunt work. Midfielder now penalty advantage here for the Hurricanes. They'll mark the spot immediately.
Yeah, he couldn't do a lot there, Alan Alatoa. It wasn't deliberate, but the way he got caught on the tackle on Ray Arcee, nothing he could do, but the penalty had to go to the Brumbies.
It's been an interesting little bit of byplay with Paul Williams and his assistant referees. He's talked about, and this is not in reference to this exact situation, he's talked about Hurricanes players pushing the ball back into Brumbies players who are on the wrong side of the ruck. The lesson there is for Brumbies players to, one, win the contact in the tackle so that they can move east-west out to the side and make sure that Paul Williams knows that they're disciplined and they're comfortable in their defence, and not to give opportunities like this to a guy like Geordie Barrett.
I think his manner's been very good too, Paul Williams. He's had to dish out a red card and a yellow card, but he's explaining firmly but politely to the players. Good demeanour.
Barrett just starting them out to the right, looking to just draw them back. Heading left to right, and this one goes the other way. It's a little stinger that sails through, and it's the Hurricanes who go back in front.
They go, and Franks returns to the fray. Cops a spray, of course, from the crowd, as you'd expect.
Nick White with a knuckle restart. It was dipping and diving. Grabbed well by Barrett, who just slams it downtown. No interest in playing any footy in their 22 after collecting that penalty goal, and it's lined it up on halfway now. To Summit. middle goes Reimer. Reimer loses it. Looking to slide it back. And it's a bobble and lose, and we'll have a Hurricane scrum.
Noah Lolosio returns to the field as well, so HIA result, Morgs, was good for him.
And that's hugely important. The Brumbies have a 6-2 bench, only 2 backs on their bench. Ryan Lonigan being the halfback with Ollie Sapsford, and Ollie Sapsford will have to take the field when Len Ikitau is red card finishes.
4 to play in the first half, and it's our first scrum of the night. In really tricky conditions. Handling has been A1.
Fine. Set. Here we go.
Still a back down. The Brumbies, of course. Muirhead defending in its centre alongside Simone.
Poor hit.
Tom Banks covering wide and presumably in the midfield. So 2 backs having to do the job of 3. A lot of ground to cover.
Be interesting with the game clock, 2-3 minutes till half time. Do the Hurricanes, who would normally probably run this, do they look at some territory to try and put the Brumbies under pressure with that space you're talking about, Mertz?
Well, Rayasi's lurking there. I suspect he's had a few runs. You wonder if he might just be there as a decoy, commit some of those inside defenders and try and isolate out a little bit wider. They've actually readjusted now with Pete Samu going to the backs of the Brumbies.
Perinara skips away from the base of the scrum, and now it's Messi at the back. Sevi gets pulled in.
Boys, it's just moving to the side. We'll have it again.
And there's the call. We'll do it once more.
Nobody's going forward. I'm not rewarding anyone there.
And there's the risk. It's a 7-man scrum for the Brumbies.
Nobody's going forward, no reward.
With Samu off the back, defending as a back. What confidence in the pack they have.
Well, a penalty here in the scrum would be interesting. Does Geordie Barrett have a go at 3 from long range, or does he try to jag one down into the corner and set up for a maul from the Hurricanes themselves?
Big minutes coming here for both these sides. In our last Super Rugby Pacific quarter-final of the weekend. Free kick, Hurricanes. Sevilla goes fast. Sevilla gets dropped by Nick White. Brave tackle from the Brumbies scrum half. Franks now. Players in motion, one off the ruck. In the end, it's Mafaleo taking it forward. Short here for Morby. Morby gets another.
Well, will it never stop for this young man? He has had a fantastic last few games, and this is a long ways had to run. This is great. Love to see the front ball given by Proctor instead of passing out the back every now and then to keep the defence honest or to hit this gap. You throw that front ball. Morby perfectly positioned. And doesn't he know where that line is, Morgan Turanui?
Yeah, it's a lovely little line by Morgan out the back, just to create doubt. Muirhead can't commit to his one-on-one tackle with Morby because he's worried about the ball out the back. And as you say, Mertz, front door option, that's what coaches tell their players, and they love to see them go through teams, not around them.
Almost out of nowhere. Didn't really look like a huge amount of sting coming in there. They did well, the Hurricanes, to get the Brumbies on the back foot, but then the acceleration into the gap, maybe that was what tricked the Brumbies' defence. So that Morby didn't look like he was hitting the ball hard. Got it fairly serenely and then just accelerated through.
Geordie Barrett to push his side further ahead right on half-time. Get them clear of that converted try. Barrett under pressure for Tom Wright, and well, there'll be time for some more action. It gets a little crazy. As Wright comes through, slides for it. The conversion looking to hang in there for the Hurricanes fans. Start to tail off late.
Okay, we're good to go now.
And hits the upright. Big going on, Mertz. So the Hurricanes up by 7 rounds. He's had enough. And
half-time.
He sends it to row 1 and sends his team to the sheds. They're up by 7, the Hurricanes in Canberra. The Brumbies with it all to do in the second 40 with a semi-final spot on the line.
They have put the Hurricanes in a very good position and an unusual position for the Brumbies, particularly at home. Down at half-time, having conceded a try in the first 20 minutes where they really pride themselves on keeping opposition scoreless. They've got plenty in the tank, the Brumbies, I'm sure, but the Hurricanes, they couldn't be more happy, I suspect, with the way that first half played out.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, 40 minutes to try and set up some additional rugby in 2022 next week against the Blues, who lay in wait over in Auckland. Who's coming out on top? It's ebbed and flowed this matchup.
Time is on.
Seesaw, the lead, and we're moving again via the boot of Morgan, who goes deep down to Hooper. And the rain continues to fall in Canberra. White.
Hold in front now, White. Hold there, 5, 3. Yep.
Overcame that HIA after the high shot from Franks. Perinara lighting them up down the left-hand side, bringing Prayas into the play. He gets caught by Simone. Perinara over for Blackwell, who's done a great job tonight taking forward for his side, and this time round they win the penalty.
You're crawling back through, roll out.
Well, that's got to be one of the issues that Dan McKellar talked about at half-time. It's making sure to clear that tackle area post-tackle. 2 Hurricanes players on top, making it hard for Falafai, but there's zero tolerance in the game at the moment for slowing down the ball in that way.
When their last hit out at home, they were on the wrong side of a 16-5 penalty count. Their discipline really hurt them in that last second loss to the Blues here. And again tonight, a couple of penalties doubled up, working against them and presenting this man with a chance to increase the margin. Jordie Barrett, he's hit every single penalty goal attempt of the evening. Just a couple of conversion misses. This one floating its way towards the uprights, and it lands for Jordie Barrett and the Canes.
Well, he wasn't exactly ecstatic, was he? He hit it well on 3 points as we see Australia-England, of course, coming up not long after Super Rugby finishes, July 2, 9, 16, Perth, Brisbane, Sydney. Can't wait. Eddie Jones back in the country. No doubt laying siege with that acerbic wit.
Tickets still on sale for that 3-game series. Wallabies.rugby/tickets is where you need to head. Get the party started over in Perth.
Holding here, onside. Hold in front,
Morgan.
goal. Stop there.
Dinks that one to touch, and we'll resume with the line out just short of halfway for the Canes.
Well, their intent's been impressive, the Hurricanes. They balanced being able to come out of their zone quite well with some high-quality passing and carrying skill to dominate possession thus far.
That one didn't look straight, but it's play on. Seesaw flattening up here for Hooper. White coming back for Slipper on the angle. White bouncing out, connecting with Seesaw. Slips past Morgan. Nothing happening to the right, so he goes back to Slipper. Slipper and Sevilla, the veterans, colliding. And now a penalty advantage here for the Brumbies. The locals get one. Reimer.
No advantage. Jackler's in good position there. 8 roll.
Probably had to Paul Williams in there after the issues the Brumbies have had there, very similarly with Falau Fainga there on top of Artie Savia and out. 15 on 15, Ollie Sapsford is on to make it a 15 on 15 complement. The Brumbies need to try and chase down that 10-point deficit.
This will be a good start, right where they like it and where it's proved successful for them tonight again. Line out on the 22. What variation will they come up with this time? He doesn't want a variation on the result.
Swain with the take. The Hurricanes counter well and stop it dead. Now for Fangard, back for White. Looking to Simone. Taking Ray Arce with him. Excellent run there from Ray Simone. White popping up for Primer. It's a scrap for the ball. The Canes win it back. Karifi the man.
Yeah, it was a push. All right, guys. All right. No, not on that time. Not that time.
Nothing to gain there for the Brumbies, and continuing the argument, they're not going to change Paul Williams' mind.
Hey.
Frustrating though it is, right under the post there, and
Mark's here. Hold on.
they were absolutely sure that what the Hurricanes were doing was untoward. Artie Savia, I think it was, who got his hand or arm on that ball in there.
Well, they're absolutely sure because they're right. You cannot allow a player to challenge at the ball if the tackler hasn't rolled away and has affected the clean out.
Yeah.
Paul Williams, yes, it's hard, it's wet, it's willing. We talked about the Kiwi teams. I think thematically this weekend going hard at the breakdown, especially against Australian teams, but he's got to make sure tacklers roll away for both sides if he wants to allow that pressure.
Coles throws it long and it's tidied up here by Reimer. So the Brumbies get it back. Now the Brumbies with the penalty advantage. The Brumbies get it awarded straight up. And there's centre field, 30 back from the posts.
Yeah, similar penalty to Alan Alatoa in the first half.
Shot call.
May or may not be deliberate. There's a fair grey area in that, but the upshot is that the Brumbies were not able to use this ball as they would have liked, and hence the penalty.
That's it. The grey area is where the game's played, isn't it, Mertz? And it is a crucial part of this game, especially now that Brumbies need to play a bit more to chase down this deficit. And Paul Williams is going to chat to these captains about just that, I'd say.
And all the rest of it, but we're getting a lot of noise, okay?
To you?
I just want to hear from you guys, okay? Can we do that? Yeah. And now's your opportunity, okay? Have a quick word.
In terms of the chat to the referee, you'd go straight to your 2 9s, wouldn't you, Mertz, if you're the captains? That's normally where most of it comes from.
Yeah, not long after that, the 10s. Fair bit to say normally. Not now, though.
So Noah Lolosio trying to pull 3 back off the deficit. Lolosio looking for it to straighten up, and does. 25-18, Drew.
Yeah, it's so important for teams to start to build these points throughout the course of the second half. The rain is certainly starting to come down now. It's no longer just a drizzle. It's pretty consistent. So any time that either team can get into the opposition's 22, it's so important to just leave with some amount of points. So the Brumbies there doing exactly what they need to do.
And they're starting to ring the changes, Drew. Luke Reimer's hobbling off, another big night. And on comes Jerome Brown, and he'll be looking forward to it as it gets down and dirty in the wet.
Here's White.
Hold in front.
White dummies the kick and spins it to Lolosio. Chasing touch and finding it. And it's a very relieved Josh Morby who retreats to the back line after that bounce got real nasty.
It's not a bad no-look bounce catch here. The skill of the guy.
Dane Coles, terrific throw to the middle. Now he climbs in at the back. Coles coming away with it. So good in open space. Coles, Barrett. So good full stop. Down to Tom Wright. Slicing this one, Tom Wright. Slicing it too much.
The unfortunate, his first instinct, of course, Tom Wright, is just to run it back. That occasion maybe just needed to slow himself down a little bit, take some more care about the kick. He got the call, came in to get the ball downfield. And the execution not quite there. To be fair, not his role all the time either.
Coles to the front, got it to Gibson. Look at Nick White flying across and putting down Barrett. Still in motion here though, the Hurricanes, and Rayasi looks to free up runners on the outside. He got it to Severe, Julian Severe, Karifi picking and going again. Julian Severe. Karifi up for Artie Severe. Morgan coming crossfield, looking for Dane Coles of all people. But Simone takes it under pressure and he called the mark. If he didn't, there was acres of space in behind.
Good take from Simone under pressure from Dane Coles. Bit of a puzzling decision at it. You've got to assume, Morgan, that it was pre-planned. They did so well, the Hurricanes, going forward. A good move to Rayasi, freed it up to Severe on the outside. Yep. What do they go to the boot for?
Yeah, they ran out of those strike players too. That maybe if it's a Rayasi or a Severe, or of course the man of the match at the moment, Morby out there. You look at that one-on-one where he's coming outside in. As skillful as Dane Coles is, maybe not. And Scott Seesaw makes his entry.
42nd match with the club. Seesaw, the guy they call Big Dog. Perenara up for Blackwell. Now Perenara coming back. Centre field, Morgan swinging it away for Geordie Barrett, who'll go field position and just wants this one to sit up, does Geordie Barrett. Banks is there for the Brumbies and is immediately dropped by Dane Coles.
Use it. Use it.
Seesaw.
Tackle now. Tackle away.
The thankless carry, 6 metres from his try line, just freeing up the angle here for Nick White to send a box kick or
onside.
Chase Lolosio back in the pocket. He'll do it himself here, White. White wants touch and finds it, and we'll have the Hurricanes line out. 38 out.
A good kick from Nick White and a good chase as well, because Morgan was looking for that quick line out throw.
Severe, Perenara, Barrett with the skip ball wide for Proctor. He goes off the hip, found Rayasi. Here is Hooper and Neville combining in defence. Nice work as Rayasi goes again. Muirhead in there looking to disrupt. Sevilla.
Tackle!
Neville driving him down. Sevilla. Julian Sevilla with the carry. Good width here for Ray Arcee as they work it across the line for Proctor. Seesaw comes in and snaps it away. And the Brumbies are in possession. White. Punches it long and low, down to Morby.
Advantage! Wide offside.
Penalty advantage here for the Hurricanes. On we come, and it was
No advantage.
James Slipper, I think, creeping up in front of the kicker.
Okay.
And we've got a penalty for the Hurricanes.
Seems a little harsh there, doesn't it, Morgan, when Nick White was the guy who kicked the ball and he was the first leading the chase up. I know there are rules to respect or laws to respect, but on a practical basis, that maybe didn't need to be called.
Yeah, it's actually one of the laws and the interpretations and directives coming down from World Rugby referees. And so I suppose if you want to be appointed to test matches, you know, it's in your best interest if you're a guy like Paul Williams to go for some of those ones. And that's one of the big ones, a bit of a crackdown.
Advancing in front.
Exactly that.
5.
Players advancing in front of the kicker.
Yep.
He's been bombing them home tonight from the tee. Hasn't missed a penalty goal yet. No real breeze to contend with here for the All Blacks and Kane's star, Geordie Barrett. Hits the upright, and Simone creases that one upfield, and he finds touch just past halfway.
Subs. Just hold him there, we got subs.
Some of the big boys getting replaced as we saw that ball cannon off the upright. He's been going right to left a lot tonight, but largely because of the wind in the first half, and now it's behind him a bit more up top, Geordie Barrett. A little bit straighter from the angle he was on. Unfortunate collision there. Dane Coles and Isaiah Walker Leawere are off. Almua on and hooking for the Hurricanes.
Stolen here by the Brumbies, and Loa looks in behind, wants this one to snap hard left, and it runs to touch. Very nearly a 50-22. I think he may have just crept inside the Canes half. He has. Good work there from Delaney to bring it down. Sevilla. Hooper rushes up and sends him back. Rare negative meters there from Artie Sevilla as Morgan works up that right-hand touchline, and this good real estate for the Brumbies.
Well, that was a big line out for the Hurricanes, but they haven't got too far out of the woods yet. For Delaney and Almua to come on and straight away get that sort of heat put on them to win the ball was amazing.
Hooper with a take. Now they transfer for Lonigan, who bounces it across for Simone. And he can't hang on.
Easy.
And we'll have a scrum.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure if it was across or full.
Everything they did right, the Brumbies, to get to that position was the nice proactive kick from Noel Olesio, the line-out pressure, the set-piece pressure, and then just execution in these conditions. They're going to get a couple of rare opportunities in the Hurricanes.
Time is on.
22 there, that one converted try score behind. Need to take those opportunities if they're going to put the Hurricanes under enough pressure to get the victory and keep an Australian team in this competition.
Well, he's had a huge 57 minutes, Nick White. He comes from the field. That enables Ryan Lonigan to take his Spot on the park.
Why?
Nick White was omnipresent tonight with everything. Defence, attack. Excellent 57. Banked by White as Barrett goes low and looks for the turf. Finds it. Banks.
Holding White.
Getting a hand here from Muirhead and Barrett. Spectacular. Now lost by the Hurricanes. Ryan Lonigan rolling it back for Seesaw. No,
Got two guys.
advantage there, and
Take this one.
looks like Geordie's no good.
Knock on goal.
I think the initial call was the competition up high was okay from both men.
Definitely what it looked like here. Muirhead, eyes only on the ball. He's going for it genuinely. That's just unfortunate. Commitment from Geordie Barrett. He's fallen awkwardly.
Very, very fair contest.
Well summed up by referee Paul Williams, but it's a great lesson for young players too. Geordie Barrett, eyes for the ball, raises the knee in front of him, elbows together in perfect position to challenge for that ball. Muirhead puts pressure. Hopefully he's okay, but that's exactly how you go up and take a high ball on the run. He's been a really important part of the Hurricanes leading and playing a bit more wet weather football.
We'll have a scrum. Brumbies to feed.
Jason Holland assessing constantly, monitoring his players. When do they bring on some more fresh legs? We've already seen the Brumbies exhaust their supply of backs. Sapsford's on, Lonigan's on now. The other backs have to go the long haul.
Just hold there, guys. Well, let's go then. Let's remove him.
He looks okay. Does Jay Barrett.
Probably a bit winded. Hurricanes haven't yet gone to the bench, although I'll just say that, and Barrett's on his way off.
Yeah, well, he's remonstrating, saying that I think he's being forced off for an HIA. And you know what? If we have to err on the side of caution for player safety, then I'm all for that.
And on comes 23 Wes Husson. Some game breakers still on the bench for the Hurricanes in terms of the backs, Booth and Love.
Good weight from the Hurricanes. Samu, though, takes it off. Short side, Samu. Samu going towards touch. Does a great job to keep it in play. Hooper. He lends a shoulder at the back. Now goes himself. Hooper. Back for Ryan Lonigan.
Tackle!
Brown does a good job to get his knees to ground. Back at Spitz. Seesaw. Got a penalty advantage here for the Brumbies as well. So it's Lonigan for Simone. Simone delaying the pass for Seesaw. Banks. Banks accelerating. Caught by Rayasi. This one finds a turf. Hooper's there to tidy up.
Middle of the field offside. Was that tackle?
His cross-field coverage has been terrific again tonight. Well, that's a tough one for Seesaw. Falls into it. We've got the penalty. Centre field. 20 back.
Big call here, Morgan Turanui. I take the 3. I know they're very effective off set piece, line out or scrum. I take the 3. What do you do?
Yeah, I like accruing points, but they've played behind a pack like the Brumbies where they convert those maul opportunities so well. They must be tempted.
Alan, we need a decision. Shot call.
He was very keen to put the ball into touch. Tom Banks, he was up there quickly. Not sure Dan McKellar agrees.
I think that just shows his supreme confidence in his forward pack, doesn't it? He's excited, and he knows, you know what? He knows that this is the match that may decide this little generation for the Brumbies. They've been superbly consistent for at least 3 seasons, and they've got the Super Rugby AU 2020 title for it. Beaten after the bell in Super Rugby AU last year. Didn't take that form into Super Rugby Trans-Tasman.
25-21 is how it reads at Gio Stadium, and we've got 20 to run.
Terrell Lomax also making his way on. Some impact required from him as well as TJ Perenara, the hongi as he comes off.
Samu takes the restart and runs straight back into the waiting arms of Artie Sevilla. Lockie Lonigan caught a touch high.
Yeah, good for.
He gets thrown back.
Okay, holding on side. The ball's there, 22. Did it use?
Ryan Lonigan for Frost. Good second effort to set it up at the back there for his replacement scrum half. Ryan Lonigan looking back towards Lolosiot. Going himself and going shallow with the box kick. A fine touch, but it's a minimal gain. Well, Drew Mitchell, that one found the line right in front of you. What have you got for us?
Yeah, it's just an interesting one, seeing the reaction from Dan McKellar when Alan Alatoa pointed at the sticks just to accrue some points. As Morgan Turanui's mentioned in the call, just such supreme confidence in their forward pack. But now the try gets them in front, and there's plenty of support here down on the sidelines for them. So maybe along with the substitutes, this crowd might bring them home.
Time to run as well for the home team as they counter here and win possession back. Tom Wright pumping it downtown. Morby pulls that one a touch on the fly, and it's a Brumbies line out now. 38 from the line.
It's an interesting little period here. We've just seen TJ Perenara leave the field and be replaced, and the HI out of Geordie Barrett means that the really experienced game controllers aren't on the field for the Hurricanes, and they need to play slightly differently. They need to go from all-out possession to game management.
Nos Lonigan goes to the front. Back it comes. Nos Lonigan. Bouncing off bodies. Almua comes in and catches him. Frost has Blackwell down low. Lolosiot stutter stepping his way towards the defence. Quick for Ryan Lonigan. Frost on the angle. Nick Frost for Nos Lonigan. Nos Lonigan 7 from home. Seesaw secures possession. Right, quick away to the left they go. Sapsford straightens. 4 away now. Ryan Lonigan looking to Sumone. Already has one try tonight. He's isolated there. Back for the Brumbies now. Lolosiot looking to work it to Banks. Tom Banks! Yes!
Oh, the Brumbies, that's the moment for them. They got that opportunity in the 22. They got great front foot ball carries from players like Frost getting them through using their footwork. And when the time came when the Hurricanes were sucked in to repel their forward pack, they got to width. They got to the start. This was the crucial piece. Frost to Lonigan, he nearly had the pace to get there himself, and they maintained possession at the breakdown. And then behind the forwards, Lolosiot to Banks, and they just ran out of numbers trying to slide away from them in the corner.
They're impressible when they get through the phases. The Brumbies, as you say, Morgs, Frost, prominent in those exchanges, and at the end, distress evident, in Rayasi just sticking his nose out of that defensive line a little bit too much. There were numbers there on the inside. They were in the process of rebalancing the Hurricanes. Rayasi looked in, and that's all you need, that slight hesitation to give a player like Banks an opportunity on the outside. Clinical finishing from the Brumbies.
Lolosiot. This conversion, huge. Lolosiot drills it through. So it's back-to-back points from the Brumbies, and they've set up a 3-point lead.
It's Banks' 36th try in Brumbies colours, and it's probably the most important one he'll ever score.
Samu. Again, straight into Artie Sevilla. Lonigan.
Hold in front now, White, stop here!
Was nice Lonigan, sending it back for Lolosio. In turn, sent it long to Morby. Fed it to Morgan. In behind is Lolosio again.
Hold on! White, hold!
Rayasi. Celesi Rayasi. Almost spinning his way through. Lonigan getting over the top. Lonigan wins the penalty. Not releasing is the call there against the Hurricanes.
Well, I'm kind of feeling like Jason Holland there at the moment. So maybe for objectivity, you better comment on this, Morgan Turanui. Seemed like the ruck had been formed and hands needed to be off it, but the persistence, the tenacity of Lonigan paid out.
You often see referees, if there's some isolation of ball play, they'll give a little bit more latitude, but it's almost there. The one he could have gone to is players going off their feet to save the ball, but another one of those 50-50s in the grey area of the game where you need to sometimes walk along the tightrope between giving a penalty away and such an important win and opportunity for your team and Noah Lolosio to extend the Brumbies lead.
Quality teams can do this, can't they? 5 minutes ago, the Hurricanes up 7 points and looking pretty good. Turnover, a kick out on the full from the Hurricanes. The Brumbies get those 3 points, then the confidence to come back, score the try, put the icing on the cake. Lolosio, they're 3 points up, can relax a little bit more if they get this 3 as well.
Noah Lolosio, after spending some time off with an HIA, sprays this one wide right. That's a rare blemish from the tee tonight from Noah.
7. Yep.
Morgan down to Hooper. He'll be happy to carry it back and does a good job of it. Spins away from Blackwell, who then hangs on down low. Swain.
Tackle! Yeah, good work, tackler. No, same thing. I saw that, no.
Their foot, Ryan Lonigan. Lolosio sends it up, and his men on the outside give chase. Muirhead on Sevilla, who sends it no-look infield, and it's taken in turn by Jerome Brown. Alatoa, Lolosio going flat for Lonigan.
Tackle!
Ryan Lonigan now. Simone threads it through the outstretched arms of Julian Sevilla.
Away.
Hooper.
Tackle now, White.
Fight his way through. That was ripped away. And we're coming back. We'll have a scrum with 10 to play.
Well, Artie Savia's protesting that this was a drop kick. The ball hit the ground. The ball hit the ground here from Artie Savia. He's saying, well, that's a drop kick. It counts. And it's been ruled a knock on.
That's what I've got, mate. Yeah, hit the ground. Unless it's a drop kick. But I don't think it was.
Well, it's a drop kick.
Okay,
he wasn't
guys,
going for 3 points, but there's nothing to stop you kicking a drop goal for
water off
territory.
now, water off. We're going to go time back on. We've got a scrum here for White.
So the Brumbies up by 3 here. There is the claimed drop kick from Artie Sevilla, which was in turn called back by Paul Williams. So we've got that Brumbies scrum to come.
Disappointed Artie Savia, but to his credit, he saw the humour in it.
Okay, boys, scrum time.
And he was never going to get 3 points. Be lucky to get 0.3 of a point for that. difference of opinion with the referee. I think you're always going to lose that one. Something I could never learn in my own career.
Well, the count of the great Kate Lorimer, our statistician. This is the 3rd scrum of the match.
Extraordinary number.
Keep it up.
And it's a good one as well from both teams as Samu comes away. Sevilla comes back and drops him, and then drops him a second time. Ryan Lonergan under pressure for Swain. He can't hang on. So here with the Hurricanes, Lomax. Booth. And there are numbers across the left here for the visitors as well. Oh, that is a big stop shot from Tom Wright. Made good contact. Booth coming short side, trying to free up Ray Arce, who spins away from the touchline. He has been unbelievable tonight. Celeste Ray Arce leaving it there for Proctor. The intensity just climbing another level. No arms tackle there, lucky to get away with one, the Brumbies. Booth. Spinning it wide. Sevilla. Brumbies trying to pin the Hurricanes down here. This one floats wide to Hoosen. Hoosen cutting in field and doing a great job of it, eventually put down by Nos Lonergan.
Okay, boys, hold it down. Ball's
He's
available.
been wonderful from the bench for Dan McKellar. Artie Sevilla.
Okay. Ball's down. Holding in front now, Gold. All hold, all hold.
A booming left boot of Rayasi. Sends it down to Banks. Banks going low with the reply. Rayasi. Back for the receipt and touchdown by Banks, who somehow hangs on. Still there for the Brumbies, playing on the ground. There is the call. And the call goes against the Canes. And the home fans want more than a penalty.
They might have a look at something more. Whether there's a little yellow card for something as blatant as this under pressure.
It's like a knock on, though. No, it's not. Before that, look. It's not a knock on. Here. Listen, Artie. He's clearly lying on the ground. He's off his feet, and he slapped the ball back on your side, okay? It's a yellow card.
That escalated really quickly.
He tried to save the moment. Desperation from Salesi Rayasi. He knew straight away it'd taken a little bit too long. He might have been in two minds to run the ball back, but good following through from Tom Banks to get that charge down. Rayasi could not recapture the moment.
You have to feel for him how desperate he was, wasn't he, to save it for his team.
Little moments at crucial times of big matches can be the difference, and they've all gone the Brumbies' way in the last 10 minutes.
And importantly, it's Geordie Barrett back on for the Hurricanes, passing his HIA.
Time on.
Big Jules Savia, end of his night. Limited opportunities, but still a force to be reckoned with.
Most definitely is that. Nos Lonergan is the man throwing to Frost. The Canes looking to send them back here. The season on the line may be, just may be, dependent on the outcome of this rolling maul from the Brumbies. Nos Lonergan looking to go through the middle. Great defence from the Canes. Still there for the home side.
Last feet, last feet.
They go quick in time. Ryan Lonergan looking for runners, coming back short. So Tom Wright! He nails it down and sets up an 8-point lead.
Oh, it's been willing, it's been physical, and it wasn't the maul that did it. It was a jam-packed Hurricanes defence that couldn't scramble back out quick enough. And the despairing tackle of Billy Proctor, not enough to deny Tom Wright.
Fully committed Tom Wright. Those first 2 steps of acceleration, the power that comes from that. They were playing with the penalty advantage, the Brumbies. Tom Wright goes over in the wrap-up tackle of Proctor, to which he took offence. Doesn't change the result. An important 5 points for the Brumbies to extend their lead, Morgan.
And the equation starts to become complicated for the Hurricanes. 8-point margin, possibly 10 off the back of the Noah Lolesio attempted conversion. A player in the bin at 14 for the rest of the match.
Yet he doesn't feel any better now when a try's been scored right on his wing. Salesi Rayasi looking on somewhat forlornly.
Silence falls across the Canberra crowd. Wishing this one through off the boot of Noah Lolesio. It's on its way, looking for the fade back, and he hits it. It's through. They trail by as much as 10. They now lead by that number, the Brumbies. Drew Mitchell, have you heard the crowd like this in Canberra?
Oh, mate, they are absolutely going bananas here at GIO Stadium for the Brumbies. All the momentum's going the Brumbies' ways. Geordie Barrett, the stars of this Hurricane side, really need to stand up to try and arrest that momentum back in the Hurricanes' favour. But at the moment, it is all the Brumbies, and they've got so much support behind them.
They've well and truly found their voice tonight.
No.
Good work in tight. Good pick can go from Booth. Snapped away, though, by the Brumbies. They pull it back and then send it long. Ryan Wanigan will want this one just to sit up. He'll be saying, be quiet, be good, it won't. And it runs
Boys, option, scrum back.
dead in goal. Got the option to scrum a long way upfield for the Canes. Still so much time left for this dangerous Hurricanes outfit. And they'll know that, the Brumbies, after going down late against the Blues a couple of weeks back, Nords.
Yeah, that is the lesson to be learnt, isn't it? To close out the game, even if it goes beyond 80 minutes. What a fight back it's been. But it can't be for nothing. Need to stay in the moment and execute very simply the basics of their game. It's the Hurricanes that need to pull something out of the fire, that need to try things in conditions that aren't particularly suitable to it. Discipline, playing for each other. All the things this Brumbies team have shown for season on season need to show in the last 4 minutes.
And that last Noah Lolesio conversion, how important will that be? Hurricanes have got to score a try and a penalty, and they've got to kick both their kicks just to get to extra time.
Early advantage here for the Hurricanes.
Knock on there, guys.
The clock keeps ticking.
Yeah, Artie straight away signals for 3.
You shot. Artie. Okay, coming to you.
Oh, Artie called it straight away. Now he's doing the Dan McKellar and shaking his head.
The Brumbies have outscored the Hurricanes 20 points to 3 in this second half. We've had just 8 handling errors total across the entire match. Only 4 scrums in conditions that are awful. As the rain continues to tumble now late, we've got 3 minutes to play for the Hurricanes. They need to find a spot on the score sheet here to be any chance to progress and take on the Blues next week in Auckland. Can they find their way across the line? Yosset. Taken on now by Rakete Stones. Artie Sevilla taking on himself. And now we've got the penalty advantage for the Hurricanes. Yosset goes to Barrett. Gibson juggles and hangs on, but will go back for the penalty. Sevilla.
11 white, offside.
2 minutes plus change to go. They flick it to touch. They're 5 away from the line. They've done it once this year, late scoring back-to-back scores. The dying minutes to clinch a likely victory.
Get that ball off, get that ball off.
The Blues way back.
Time on, let's go.
In round 2. Trying to double up that effort here. Almua with the throw. Also overthrown, and it's Lonigan who sends it to Lolosio, who chips it up the field. It's still with the Hurricanes, but the clock's working against them. Lonigan with a tackle.
Last feet.
Booth. Up and away for Lomax. Morgan switching play for Love to Barrett. Geordie Barrett spinning in the arms of one of the Brumbies' best tonight. Hooper, Yosse, Morgan, ducks under Simone. And now the counter from the Brumbies. And Brown gets it and then tries to tow it ahead. It'll come back though for his team, and then an experienced kicker in the form of Lolosio does the right thing and sends it up over halfway. Geordie Barrett takes it 40 from home, and that clock just keeps rolling against the Canes. Sevilla tips on, put it in here by Brown. Brown of the Brumbies, penalty Brumbies. And they might just bank it and keep it there.
They kept giving it back to the Hurricanes, did the Brumbies, desperate to allow the men from Wellington to have a shot at getting that try they so badly needed. Consultation now. The clock's almost run down legitimately. They're going to probably be able to tap, take a couple of phases and then kick the ball out. Not even that for Tom Banks.
Tom Banks in his final game in Canberra seals it. And Australia's best super side are off to the semi-finals. (35-25) full-time. The Brumbies have put away the Hurricanes. They were down at the break, and they found a way. They found another gear in the second half, the Brumbies, outscoring the Hurricanes 20 points to 3 in the second term. Let's get some reaction. Alana Ferguson has Noah Lolosio.
I sure do. One of the superstars. Noah, what a win.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We knew that it was going to be finals footy, and it's not going to be perfect. So, you know, we just got to stick to our strengths, which is what we did. And all was awesome today. We played full position, especially in these conditions. And credit to Hurricanes as well. They were awesome, and they put a 480-minute effort in.
Finals footy, all right. How intense was it out there?
Oh, you saw me get smoked in the first half, so that says it all.
Your goal kicking, very influential. Do you love having that pressure on you?
Yeah, well, that just comes with the hard work during the week. And you know, I wouldn't have any goal kicks if we didn't score any tries or any penalties. So credit goes to all the teams, and I know the kicking gets some of the glory, but I wouldn't be in this position right now without these boys. 9-10
combination's always so important, but I want to ask you about when Nick White went off, and it was pretty early tonight. What does that do to your role? Does it change at all? How do you feel with it?
No, not really, because, you know, we've got Lonas coming off the bench, which is awesome too, and me and him have played a lot of footy together, coming through the Vikings, NRC, and our Brums, and it just felt like, you know, me and Whitey have an awesome combination, and so do me and Lonas also too. So it felt awesome. They are both obviously different players. Yeah, and I'm just happy that I've got awesome nines to play with.
You look happy. Soak up this huge win at home, and all the best for next week.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Over to you, Drew.
Yeah, I'm here with another proud Brumby, Scott Seesaw. Scott, that must be an amazing feeling.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank God for keeping us all safe here tonight. And yeah, just huge effort from the boys there. We knew, you know, to go deep in this final series, you got to grind it out for 80 minutes, and credit to the boys that came off the bench there and put in.
a lot was said in the lead up in terms of all the departing players and also Dan McKellar moving on as well. The last game here at Brumbies home ground was a special one to get, right?
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I've had a lot of great memories here at GIO, and I'm fortunate that tonight is another one. So just thank you again to all our fans. It means the world to us.
Look, it was a huge second half performance there from you guys. Great impetus off the bench. Yourself, Lonergan was great, but it was just a really strong team performance tonight for the Brumbies, and that's what it's going to take, right? A full squad effort.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to the Hurricanes. You know, they put in for the 80 minutes, really challenged us, and made us earn it there at the end. So, yeah, again, huge team effort. Boys will soak it in tonight, and you know, get ready on Monday for another big one.
Yeah, well, that's right. Next week, the Blues over at Eden Park. Doesn't get any bigger, but how good?
Yeah, I mean, you got to beat everyone to win the comp, don't you? So why not now, next week at Eden Park, where a lot of history, a lot of battles fought. But lastly, I just want to say to the Hurricanes, hell of a season. You know, well done on making it to the finals, and safe travels home.
Mate, for you, soak up this atmosphere. It's your last time playing here at home. You've been a great servant for the Brumbies, and, mate, all the best next week.
Yeah, cheers, thanks, Drew, appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Back to you.
From one Brumbies front row to another, it's Alan Alatoa now alongside Morgan Turinui.